Welcome back to For Your Heart and Home. My name is Dee Dee. Welcome into my kitchen. If you love making sandwiches at home and want a sturdy, soft bun that can hold all your favorite fillings, these sub buns are such a great place to start. Hi friends, and welcome back to For Your Heart and Home. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. This channel is all about scratch cooking, freshly milled flour, and simple recipes that help nourish our homes. Today, I'm showing you how to make homemade sub buns using the bread machine dough cycle with freshly milled hard white wheat flour and vital wheat gluten. The machine does all the mixing and kneading and will shape and bake the buns in the oven. Freshly milled hard white wheat has a mild flavor and strong protein structure, making it perfect for sandwich buns. Adding vital wheat gluten helps give these buns strength and flexibility so they hold up well without being dense. These buns are soft enough for sandwiches, but sturdy enough for hot subs. To get started, I'm going to mill my flour, and for this I'm going to be using approximately 4 cups of hard white wheat flour, so I'm going to get that going in my grain mill. While that is milling, I'm going to be adding all the other ingredients to my bread machine pan. In total, I will be using approximately 1.5 cups of water, but I'm going to start with about 1 cup of water in my bread pan, and while my machine is doing the mixing, I'm going to drizzle in more water as needed. Since I'm using freshly milled flour, it absorbs water differently than all-purpose flour, so if that's what you're going to be using, be mindful of that. If you're using all-purpose flour, you can go ahead and add all the water that's necessary for the recipe right now. So I'm going to add about 1 cup of water to my bread machine. I'm going to add 1 stick of butter cubed. I will also be adding about a tablespoon of honey, a teaspoon and a half of salt. And then once my flour has been milled, I'll put in the 4 cups of flour. I will also put in 4 tablespoons of vital wheat gluten. If you've been following my other videos about using the bread machine and using freshly milled flour with vital wheat gluten, you know that I use 1 tablespoon of vital wheat gluten for every cup of flour that I'm using. That's just my rule of thumb. You might find that someone else does something different, but that's what works for me in my kitchen. Once I've added everything in, I'm also going to top that with the yeast I need for this recipe, which is about 1.5 teaspoons. All the information for this recipe will be listed in the description box below. I will also have the recipe on a recipe card at the end of the video if you would like to do a screenshot. So that's it. It's very simple. Once all my ingredients are in my bread machine pan, I'm going to move now to the bread machine to get it going. I'm using the Cuisinart bread machine with its a convection model. I'll put up a picture of that so you can see what machine I'm using. For me, I'm using the dough cycle, which is cycle number 9, and I just have to program the machine, press confirm to get started. As with all my recipes that I'm using in the bread machine, I want to remind you, don't just put the machine pan in and walk away. We're going to turn the machine on and we're going to stand for the first 5 or so minutes and make sure this dough comes together. Especially when using freshly milled flour, we want to monitor the machine to make sure that it's actually pulling the flour and the dough together. So I'm going to use my spatula, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to help the machine pull this together, drizzle in water little bits at a time until my dough comes together. Eventually, you'll see that the dough comes together nicely, and that's my cue to close the top of my bread machine and to walk away. I love using my bread machine because it allows for a high level of efficiency in my kitchen. I could be working on dough, and I could also be making other parts of the meal or doing something else that needs to be done in the kitchen, like washing dishes, while the machine is taking care of this project. So it's been about an hour and a half, and it's time to shape my rolls. I am going to place my dough on a clean surface, and I'm going to divide this dough into 6 parts. Now, if you want to make your sub sandwiches smaller, you can divide it into 8, but 6 seemed like a good round number for me, and so that's what I'm going to go with here. The first step is to divide it into 6 parts, roll each part into a ball, and then let it do a rise. Then I can come back and roll it into a long shape. You don't necessarily have to do this step, but these are the steps I followed to get the results that you will see at the end of the video. So first, I rolled each of my 6 parts into a dough ball. I covered that for a brief while and let that do a rise, and then I came back and rolled it out into the size for the sub buns. I have a small baking sheet, and so I divided my 6 buns into 2, but if you have a bigger pan, you can just bake them all at once, whatever works for you in your kitchen. So this is what I mean. After I allowed my dough balls to rise for a short while, I would say approximately 10 minutes, I came back and now it's time to roll them into the final shape, which is the sub shape for these buns. I want to remind you that whenever you're shaping dough, you want to use soft, gentle hands so that the dough does not become tough or rubbery. Gentle hands. You can moisten your hands with a little bit of water if necessary, but not too wet. That way the dough doesn't stick to your hands. But remember, gentle fingers with the dough to keep it nice and airy. So there's no special technique to getting these into the sub size that I have here. It's very simple. You're going to take each dough ball, you're going to roll it into a log, shape it as best you can, and get it on your baking sheet. I lined my baking sheet with parchment paper so that I could just have an easier cleanup at the end. But if you want to skip that step, you're free to do so as well. So I'm going to cover these sub rolls one more time so that they can double in size, and then I will put them in the oven. I will say these rose really beautifully and they were the perfect size that our family needed. Like I said, I baked these one pan at a time. If you have a larger pan, then you can put them all on one pan and put them in your oven all at once. So I had to do 2 rounds of baking for this. And so this is what they look like at the end. They rose beautifully and they're still soft, and they were sturdy enough for our sandwiches for dinner this night. I used them to make a fish sandwich with lettuce and tomato, and they worked out really, really well. So these were baked at 375 degrees Fahrenheit in a preheated oven, and you're going to pull them out when they're golden brown. Feel free to use a thermometer to make sure that they're fully cooked in the middle before pulling them from the oven. But as you can see, these turned out really well. And if you want a softer crust, feel free to brush the tops of your sub buns with a little bit of butter right after it has been baked. I usually skip that step and it works out fine for me. But again, this is something that you can play with as you play with this recipe. You can also add toppings if you like here before putting them in the oven. Again, we like to just keep it plain because I like the versatility that comes with keeping it plain. I can add whatever I would like to it later on and it still works out well. So you will see that I am now going to cut this down the middle. I was able to get them baked and they were able to cool down. And so now I can show you what it looks like on the inside. They're nice and soft, very sturdy, and this is how it turned out. This is what it looks like when I made a sandwich. The great thing about this is you can put whatever you want on here. It's a sturdy enough bun to hold pretty much anything you want. Again, for this I used oven fried flounder fish with some lettuce and tomatoes, and then I put that on the side with some potato wedges and some fried shrimp. These homemade sub buns are soft, they're sturdy, and they're perfect for anything from cold sandwiches or hot baked subs. Using your bread machine makes working with freshly milled flour approachable and consistent. And once you try homemade buns, it's hard to go back. It's really hard to go back. Thank you so much for spending time with me today here at For Your Heart and Home. Again, I will leave the recipe on the screen for you so you have an opportunity to save that for the future. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down in the comment section down below and let me know you're here and where you're watching from. I enjoy hearing from you, and I certainly will see you in the next video.